his first historic tweet onto Twitter. And this is Richard Beals from the Expositor. And we're also here with Matt Ruiz from FM 92 at CKPC Radio here in Brantford. And what we're doing here is the Commodore VIC-20 computer, almost 30 years old. It's going to be celebrating its official 30th birthday next year. The program that we're going to be running today is called TweetVer. And TweetVer is more than just a single program for the VIC-20. It's actually a platform that we've developed here at the Personal Computer Museum to let all kinds of vintage computers actually go onto Twitter. Although we've only developed the VIC-20 version, we hope that other people will actually take this software and the source code, which we're going to release next week, take it and make clients for things like the Atari 400, the Atari 800, the Apple II, the Timex Sinclair, whatever platform, almost every old platform is going to be able to use this technology in order to create tweets. I decided to save the program onto a cassette because a lot of people don't realize that cassette was actually the main way of saving programs in the 70s and into the early 80s. It was eventually, of course, replaced with the floppy disk, which eventually, of course, is just replaced with downloading. We don't even really have to store programs, although obviously we can still use memory keys, but CD-ROMs and DVDs are still out there, but even those are going the way of the dodo bird, as a lot of things here in the museum have. So the VIC-20 has a lot of technical limitations. This is an unexpanded VIC-20 that only has 5K of RAM, and to give you some concept of that, that's only really, not even a chapter in a book. Like, that's not a lot of space to actually be able to do this in. In fact, the VIC-20 only has a usable amount of memory of 3,583 bytes. And after this software is loaded, the VIC-20 has about 600 bytes free. So I don't have a whole lot of space, but there is a little bit in here. The other challenge with doing this, and something that I have seen, because this isn't the first vintage computer to go on Twitter. For example, there is a Commodore 64, which is the bigger brother to the VIC-20. There's a version of that that works. The problem with that is that things like, something simple like when it asks for your password, it shows it in plain text and on the screen. So anybody that happens to be walking by can see your password. The goal today is after you see the demonstration by our two representatives that are here for us, you can actually log into your Twitter account and post something from the VIC-20 if you like as well, and you can do it in such a way that no one else is going to see your password. So I actually had to write a custom routine to do that. Not a huge deal, but it's one of those things when you start developing the software and start to use it, and you think, hey, wait a minute, everyone's going to see my password. That's not good. So that's one of the things that we had to do. So without any further ado, Richard, take it away. You're going to put in the username of the account, which is Vintage PC. And we couldn't get PC Museum, so we had to go with Vintage PC. And yeah, that's correct. And just hit return. And now it's going to ask him for the password, which I will be changing after this event is over if anyone has seen the listings. And when he presses return there, it's going to give him two choices. Unlike the regular web client where you can see everything on the screen, you can decide whether you want to see other people's status updates or you want to tweet out. He's going to hit F1, which is going to show a tweet out, and it's going to ask him, what are you doing? Which is, I know not the new way Twitter is saying, but that's the old way. So we're kind of old here, so we're going to go with the old way. You'll notice that as he types, the number of characters available do show in the bottom corner. And this is actually the same way that the website does it. And of course, when it gets down to less than 20 characters, it'll actually change color just like it does on the web. So some of the features that regular Twitter has available to it are available on the VIC version. As you can see, it's actually taking up most of the screen. There isn't any word wrap or anything fancy like that. Those are all things that maybe someone else can consider as an enhancement. But just because of the limited screen real estate, we're doing this as best we can here on the screen. It's very strange to see web addresses on a VIC-20. It's just not something you'd normally see. And as he went below the 20 characters, it turned red, even though it's more of an orangey kind of red. And he's done, and he's going to, let me just get the iPhone going here so I can actually see what's going on. If someone wants to bring up the museum account on that iMac over there as well, that would maybe be a bad idea. Just give me the word, boss. You go for it. It's now sending it off. Give it a second, it's slow. And it should be there on the net. And we'll verify that.
Yep.
It's there.
We're getting tweets. Alright, and thank you, Richard. You've done it.
My moment in history.
You have done it. And by the way, this was Richard's first tweet ever, so I guess the good news for him is he can only go up from here.
Hopefully I'll be in the 21st century sometime next week.
Alright, and then we got Matt in here. We'll switch spots here. Now what Matt's going to do is Matt's going to be the first to pull down the updates since we've done the tweet, and I've told people to go out and send messages on there, and we'll see two different tweets. You go ahead and put the username in. We're going to see